Tyler, we'll take you through it. All right.
What's up, Jill? Y'all know the drill. Raise your hand. I'll work my way down the line. Michael, we'll start with you.
Hey there, Gio. So the last time Syracuse came to play y'all in Keenan, it was the COVID season with no one in the stands, and I remember you had a pick in that game. I mean, when you grab that pick, you're probably just instinctively expecting like this big crowd pop or something like that, and it's just totally dead. Just like, what was that moment like? What was that game like?
No, it was definitely cool, just having all my teammates celebrate me, definitely during a weird season, not a lot to like get super excited about only when you're playing the game, but just had that moment with my teammates before and after the game was super cool. But it was weird not having anybody in the stands. I remember we had the turnover belt during the time, and I kind of instinctively ran over to the stands, but it's like nobody's there, so I just started celebrating with my teammates.
Coming out the next season when there were fans in the stands, like sellouts, did it just feel like there were more than usual? Like did it hit you even more after that season of having no fans?
Yeah, I mean, even during that season, because I remember they started to lift some of the restrictions off. I think Florida State was the first week we kind of had like a big restriction lifted off, where I think they had a couple thousand fans in the stadium. And even then, like going into Florida State, it was super loud, wasn't even filled up. So it was just like each week just progressively getting more and more. It was definitely different, but we obviously enjoyed it.
Thanks, man.
Luciana?
Hey, Gio, hope you're doing well, and thanks for your time. The defense has obviously improved a lot from last year to this one, but red zone defense has probably been one of the most noticeable improvements. Do you see it that way, and what would you say has led to that? How do you feel personally as well in that area?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the defense we've done a lot better, just focusing up on what our task has to be. I think the biggest thing has just been focus on the details. I think last year a lot of guys we were fuzzy brain on where to be and how to do certain things. And I think this year, that's totally gone. We got guys who are super detailed on what they need to do. And, we're just playing with each other. We're playing for each other, for our culture, just for the team. And we don't want to be the guys that let the team down. We heard a lot, the defense was letting guys down. So that's something that we kind of pride ourselves on now. Just making sure it's not on us. And if anything happens, we're going to be the defense that wins it for the team and not that loses it. That's how we felt the year before. So just having a little bit of pride and, I think it's paying off just a little bit this year.
Awesome. Thanks.
Adam?
Hey, Gio. Just wanted to go back to that Syracuse game from can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was seeing Luciano there. I was a little confused. Wanted to go back to the Syracuse game from 2020. That was obviously the first game of that season. When you turn on the tape now of Syracuse, since you haven't played them since then, does that bring, just watching those guys, does that bring back those memories of that day and just how, I guess, surreal things were?
I definitely think they have a much different offense than kind of what they had going back to that time point. But it is surreal. I'm the old guy in the DB room now, so it's a little weird when guys are calling me like OG and stuff like that. But it's definitely surreal just watching them on film, seeing the highlights going through the building of when we played them and some of their games this year. So it's just like, dang, I was here. Javonte Williams scoring touchdowns, Michael Carter. So Sam Howell was still here. So it's a little weird, but it's pretty cool at the same time.
Was the quiet of that day what's one of the things that really stands out, just how quiet it was in there?
Yeah, I don't even know what I expected going. I can't remember. I'd be lying if I told you I remember, but it was super different. Like it was like nothing I've experienced before. Obviously, I went to a small high school and it was loud. It was not super loud, but it was better than that. So I just think it was super weird. Not even having people on the sideline. It was just a weird environment. But I think we made the most of it. I think the team had a lot of good vibes, good energy. So it was pretty fun at the same time.
Thank you, man.
Jeremiah?
What's going on, Jill? Hope you're doing well. Yesterday, we were talking to Drake and Cedric, and they were saying that Tez Walker has been at practice as a member of the scout team. I know that's something that Tamari Fox did last season, but what's kind of that dynamic been like having a player like that on the scout team?
Man, it's really a blessing in disguise just how everything happened. He's so good. He's just a really talented player who challenges us every single day, lines up in the slot for us, lines up out wide. So just giving our safeties, our stars, our corners work, it's invaluable because, yeah, we can go against scouts, but at the end of the day, that's an NFL-type receiver who's going to give us the best look we can get. And honestly, you can't beat that. He's going full speed every single time. Me and him had a pretty big collision in practice, and I had to remember, I was like, usually scouts don't go for the ball, so I had to remember he's not a scout. This is Ted. So just, getting the best work we can possibly get is super cool, and we appreciate him for it.
Yeah, was there any sort of I know you mentioned that play, but was there any sort of moment where you're like, I mean, what kind of player he is based on what he did at Kent State, but seeing it up close, was there a moment of shock of like, oh wow, like this guy's actually like, different type of player?
I mean, all camp we saw, just his explosiveness off the ball, off the line of scrimmage into his routes, his deep balls it's just crazy. It's not like anything you've seen before. But then even in scouts, it makes sure guys know we can't take a playoff. Like this is who we're gonna be going up against in games. So just having that, knowing that every single play, just knowing we can't take off, that's been super helpful for us.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep.
Andrew?
Gio, what was that collision play like? What was that? Take us through it.
I can't remember. I think it had to be pit week. I think it was just he ran a post. I'm coming from post safety, coming down to make a play. We both going for the ball. Obviously, like I said, usually the scout stopped, but Tez isn't a scout. And we both kind of just collided. We just got up, laughed, shook it off. Nothing too crazy.
I have a defense question I want to ask you here in a second, but I want to stay on the Tez thing. When you have a guy that's gone through what he has, and it's been so public as well, so other people know he's going through it, but he's in scout team and he's doing that stuff for you. Is that a big part of the fabric of this team's sort of identity, that you guys are zeroed in and uber focused, maybe more so than in the past?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it just shows the type of person Tez is first and foremost, just a real team guy doing whatever he can for the team. A lot of guys, like I said, who have NFL caliber talent probably would not do something like this. They probably feel bad for themselves and just not work on their craft and just kind of sit to the side. He's taking another challenge. Hey, let me get the defense better and also get himself better by playing against defensive guys. Because, when the offense goes against scouts, they're not playing against the starters. So this is just another opportunity for him to continue to get better and to make us better. So it shows what type of team we have. And I think everybody on our team would do it. We got really good guys on this team.
All right. My original question about the defense, when in previous years, when Max said something about this the other day, and some of the guys did yesterday, that when things started spiraling negatively for you guys, it was almost like a panic, and you guys had a tough time sort of regrouping. Now it looks like you guys are in control even when things aren't going well, which allows you to regroup. Can you sort of take us through why that is different with you guys now than before?
Yeah, definitely. One, I think the biggest thing is just everybody knows what they messed up. It's not like we're going to the sideline and it's, whoa, what was that? There's plays in the game where me said somebody might come to the sideline and like, hey, coach, they just gave us this. Let's adjust this way. And it's like, all right, we see this. And last year we wouldn't have been able to tell it's better communication between the players and the coaches, just at a higher IQ level to really talk ball and go to the sideline and make adjustments. And I think that's been the biggest step, is being able to have better player coach communication and know what we're supposed to be doing and where we're supposed to be. I think that's been the biggest help so far this year.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Adam?
Gio, along those lines, with the bye week, obviously a chance to catch your breath and sort of assess how the first 4 games of the season have gone and where you're headed next. Just like, how much better do you think this secondary is just at this point in the season, if you compare it to like last year? And where do you think you guys need to improve? Like, where do you need to take this thing from where you are now?
Yeah. So I think the biggest difference is this year, we have so much more communication. I think guys, like I said, the biggest thing, guys know what we're doing. There's no, what do I have here or how do I have it here? Like I said, we can go to the sideline and talk to coaches about what happened. And I think also the biggest thing, just self-accountability. If I mess up, I have to take it. If Huzzy messes up, they have to take it. And we all tell each other, get on me. Like, if I do something I'm not supposed to do, then get on me. And we can't take it personally, And the coaches know that, and they're doing the same thing for us. And the coaches are just allowing us a little bit more, to coach each other up, be those coaches on the field, and make adjustments as we need. Because obviously, again, like I said, we know we have to do. And just from last year, I think our biggest issue, first year in any defense is going to be pretty challenging. First year in anything is going to be pretty challenging. It's pretty hard to pick something up the first day. There's so many different concepts and things that certain coaches want. You might get one coach wants it done this way, another coach wants it done this way. And your brain still takes some time to flip those things. So I think this year our biggest jump has been, we know exactly what the coaches want. So if anything messes up, it's on us, and we got to take accountability for it.
Yeah, so settling in more. Where do you think, like your 4 games in here, where do you think you guys need to get better just in the secondary? Like, what would you pinpoint?
Yeah, some things I think we need to get better. Safety specific is just, tackling in space, and I think that's something you can always work on. And Coach Warren's been harping on us a lot about that. We've been doing a lot more drills in practice, and then just making more plays on the ball. Huzzy had 2 picks last game. Armani had one against Minnesota. So, we're making some plays, but, getting more hands on balls, whether that be PBUs or just interceptions, and then just, plastering routes a little bit more during scrambles. Because I know this week Syracuse quarterback is going to try to make a lot of plays on his feet. So just when he scrambles and receivers play scramble drills, just plaster our routes and just stay on guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Last one. Jeremiah, wrap us up.
Yeah, Gio, at that cornerback position, Marcus Allen is somebody that hasn't given up, too many big plays, hasn't been picked on necessarily in game. So I guess 4 games into this season, kind of taking on that role of a full-time starter. What do you make of, the way that he's been able to play so far and kind of, his contribution to the defense?
Yeah, man. Since Marcus has gotten here, he's done a great job of just playing with a certain energy and, effort. And he plays that way every single way. We kind of joke on him in the locker room for how excited he gets when he makes a play. He doesn't really have a celebration. He just flails his arms everywhere. But, it's the energy we need. He's done a really good job of getting in the film room, learning the plays, and just doing what he's supposed to do. Being that leader in the corner room, he's not the oldest, but he does have, out of the corners we have now, pretty much the most experience in this defense. So he's done a really good job, and it's helped us a lot.
You mentioned his leadership. Would you say he's a pretty vocal leader? Is that how it kind of manifests itself?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say he's the stern, like, hey, you go here type leader, but he leads by example, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He's a playful guy, like he's always laughing, always joking around. I think that's good for a room, when things can be so serious in football, having that guy who works hard and does everything right to be able to calm the mood and, laugh and joke a little bit. That's pretty cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Gio.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, Jeremy.